Hey everyone, we are live again. And you see how broad Sandra is smiling? You know why? I'll tell you why. She just scrambled and put on her clothes. Because I dragged her in here. And she's like, I don't even know what's going on for today. Shame, shame, shame. No, no, no. Today class is in session, Sandra. Class is in session. That is the session for today. Class is in session. And we are teaching today. It's me and you hanging out and we are teaching today. Okay? I think your mic is giving me some feedback, so I'm just going to mute you temporarily. When you're ready to talk, you can just unmute your mic, okay? So class is in session. And there are some videos I'm going to be showing today. I put it in the description if you're reading or you were looking at the Facebook page, which is where everything is happening, people. Everything is happening on the Facebook page. But before I go into anything today, or before I go into into class today, okay? Before we go into class, I want to ask Sandra a few questions. So Sandra, we are midway. Can you imagine? We are midway in the 6 days of the week of celebration. We started on the 17th, the 18th, today's the 19th. We have 20, 21, and 22 left. So we are midway. How are you feeling as a division director? What is your take on the first 3 days so far? Tell us how you're feeling. Open up your mic. Open up your mic. Unmute.
Okay, right. So I remember being very, very excited on the first day about this whole celebration of Toastmasters International Day. And the excitement has not stopped. Every little event that we do, I get more excited about what is happening, you know? So I keep looking forward to whatever day we have and what we're doing, because it's showing people exactly what Toastmastering is all about, what we do as Toastmasters, how it's helping us in our lives, you know. So I'm thoroughly excited. You are muted now, Karen. You are muted.
I'm excited. Oh gosh, I'm excited. Listen, it started off with your welcome. That we had a little bit of a hitch there, but we managed.
Yes.
Then that same day we did the ADs, the area directors welcome. Oh God, Sandra, say something. Say something about the ADs welcome. Say something.
Well, you know what I liked about the ADs? That they were able to share exactly what they do in their own area and some of the things that are happening in their own area. And then they were able to talk about how it had impacted on their own lives, you know, in their jobs. And, you know, so people were, I was amazed. I was amazed, you know, about what was happening.
Oh my God, the ADs really brought it. Let me tell you, all 4 of them showed up, Sandra. And they brought it. They brought it. The comments were flowing in. Were you seeing that on the Facebook page?
Yes, I was.
Oh my God. Listen to me. And then yesterday, when we thought everything was going to go smooth,
that was the icing on the cake yesterday.
Oh, Jesus. And the VPPR stepped up. They stepped up, and Naomi took over when she realized, no, Corinne, like she is coming back in right now. We have to do something. And they just fall. Oh my word. Say something about the VPPRs yesterday. Let's big them up.
You know what I really loved about yesterday? The way that they took control of the situation. You know, it was supposed to go a particular way. You were supposed to be there. You were supposed to be moderating. You were supposed to be asking them questions to find out all about their lives as VPR and their different clubs and promoting their clubs and so on. And as Murphy would have it, you were kicked out. And they said, well, we can't just sit here. We need to carry this on. Let's talk about what's happening in our various clubs and what is happening. And Yomi took it over. And, you know, I loved the ideas that came out of that meeting, some of the things they shared, their vision, what we are supposed to be doing. And
Well, difficulties.
I really
Sandra,
love that, Corinne.
Sandra, you have to go over that because we were just bumped. Sorry about that. What were
Contour?
you saying? Yeah, we got bumped for a few seconds. What were you
Okay,
saying? We
so
missed
Corinne,
all
give
this.
me 1 second. 1 second, Corinne.
Uh-huh.
I need to just shift. So give me
Uh-huh.
1 second as I shift.
Okay. So while Sandra is doing that, you just wanted to make a shift there. Hold
I
1 second.
just wanted to do some, yes, I
Yes,
needed to have my
yes.
privacy.
That's right. That's okay.
Yeah,
These things happen.
yeah.
All sort of people creeping
All
in
right.
from all over the place. Yeah, so
So,
go ahead. What
so I know we went off, but I continue speaking just in case. But what I was sharing is that what I really loved is that, Murphy was in the house yesterday, but I loved how the VPPRs decided, we are live, we're on, let's continue, let's have a conversation.
That's right.
And took control of the situation and started throwing questions at each of the other VPR. And the where it went, when they spoke about their thoughts, their own clubs, what they would like to see
Yeah.
in the division, it was so cohesive, and I was really, really, really proud of those
Me.
VPPRs
Yeah.
that came out. Yeah.
Listen, when I managed to come back in, after Murphy show up himself big and wholesome. When I showed up, I don't know if you watched the replay or if you were there, You see, I had to bring in
Yes.
Macaribe. I had to bring in
Yes, I saw.
Macaribe to
I
deal
saw the replay.
to deal with Murphy because
Yes,
I am like, no way. But when I came in, I saw a whole conversation. I said, but hold on, nobody needs me. Nobody
yes,
needs me. I just sit back. I just
yeah.
sat back and allowed the conversation to go. And then all I did was a little technical stuff, made sure I highlighted everybody, spotlighted, and make sure everything flowed nice. I said, but
So
wait.
what was clear to me, Corinne, is that
Mm,
as Toastmaster, the skills that you develop leadership wise, that
oh
was
yeah.
very clear to me. So that something happens, you don't panic, you don't say, oh my God, what's
No.
happening? You take
No.
control of the situation. And that was so clear to me yesterday,
Oh yes.
and I felt good in my heart because I am a Toastmaster and this is what we are all about. Not only communicating, but leadership skills. And the leadership came out yesterday with
Oh
all
yeah.
those VPRs who was on that broadcast yesterday. Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Here's what we're going to do. You just pointed to the same thing we're going to show here right now. Leadership. So class is in session, people. Class is in session. And before I move on to this first video, which is dealing with lessons on leadership, I want to just prepare you. This is the middle of the week of celebrations. You haven't seen anything yet. You see, come tomorrow, the 20th onto the 22nd, please, I'm begging you, follow the Facebook page, like the Facebook page, make sure you're on the Facebook page, set
Exactly.
reminders, make sure, don't miss, because you see 20, 21, and 22, it lit, like they say, it lit. Be there, be ready. It's going to be fun. I'm telling you, you wouldn't be expecting what's coming, so make sure you're there. So let me feature a video here. Let me see if I can
My very
show.
first Toastmasters role in the club was the Sergeant at Arms for the Caesar Rodney Toastmasters Club in Wilmington, Delaware. I've come a long way since then, and I am now the immediate past District Director for District 18. I have learned to be better at being patient and understanding. I am one who likes to move very quickly and get things done, but we don't all work at the same pace. That's one of the main things I've learned, is about slowing down, letting others work at their pace and not mine. Personally, I have gained a lot of friends, people I would not have met in my normal daily operations at work and at home. I've learned the value of diversity, where every person has a different story, background, but adds value to us as a Toastmasters family. I would say, don't run from the fear. The great thing about Toastmasters is that you have a lot of support from other district leaders, past leaders, fellow club members that will help you when you feel like you're falling. We are great at being supportive and helping each other. And I find that you learn from failure. And if you don't step out because you're afraid, you'll never grow. And here we are about growth.
Sandra, what are your thoughts on what she shared?
I like what stuck out for me is when she said, "Don't run away from your fear," because to me, when you're fearful of something, your adrenaline start pumping, and you're just concentrating on, I need to do well, I need to do this a good presentation, and sometimes that's all you need. That's all you need to do a good presentation. I'll tell you a little story. There was a time I had to do, because I sing as well, I had to perform in a production. And I said we were leaving Arima, it was in Port of Spain, and I put all the costumes and so on that I was supposed to be using for all the changes. I put it in my living room, and I said to my husband, remind me to take that and put it in the car so we'll get down there. Of course, he didn't remind me. So we got down to where we were supposed to be, and I'm sitting in the front, and I stretched my hands back to take up this stuff and realize there was nothing there. Of course, there was no time to go back to get because the issue was at a particular time. But I was panicking and studying, what am I going to do? And I remember they just put a chair, they put me to sit down. They say, you just sit there and you be calm. I was given a cup of tea, and today I always drink tea to calm myself. I was given a cup of tea, and the choral director went, she's a mastery of things. She went and got clothes for me to wear. And I remember when I got on stage and it was about time to perform, I was thinking, Lord, I need to do this well. And the butterflies in my stomach, and I'm shaking, and I sang. And all the while I'm thinking, I'm not doing this for myself. I am doing this for the glory of God. That's what I was thinking. And I sang. And do you know, I got a rounding, standing applause for every performance that I put down. I remember after somebody came back up to me and said, you should leave your clothes home more often. You understand? So that was a lesson for me. So when I'm fearful of anything, I don't take it on. I said, yes, Lord, I'm going. So I like that stood out for me when she said, don't run away from your fears. That stood out for me.
Tip number one, leave your clothes home. Tip number one, leave your clothes home. Drink a cup of tea and wear other people's clothes. That is the trick.
That was really insightful for me. Yeah.
You know what she said, what I like what that lady said a while ago, that resonated with me, is that people move at a different pace. Just like with her, I have a personality of wanting to rush to do things. I rush, and I have a deadline. I'm always getting ready, set, go. But there are other people that you are working with that not at your pace. And that's okay. That's okay. You just need to recognize that that's the pace. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with them or that they're lazy or any such thing. That's just their pace. And sometimes it's just important to slow down. Slow down, Sandra. And over the years, I could tell you that's one of the things that I have learned. Slow down. I don't know if it comes with age. I mean, I look like 25, I know this, but I don't know if it comes with age. But you just realize what you're rushing for. What is your rush? Relax. Because if we look back at our lives and we look at all the things we're rushing to do, it got done. It got done. And sometimes when you're rushing, it ends up being a mess. Just let things go. And it end up falling into place. Just be patient. I love that. I want to switch now to another video that I want to share about the Toastmasters club experience.
Hello, I'm Stacy. Thanks for visiting Toastmasters International, where more than 4 million people have become more confident speakers and leaders. They did so by visiting a Toastmasters club in their company or community. When you visit a club, you'll find 3 things. Members give speeches, they take on meeting roles, and they have a great time learning. There is no designated teacher in a Toastmasters meeting. Instead, much of the learning happens by doing a particular task, such as giving a formal speech or fulfilling a particular meeting role. Ready to visit a club? It's free, and you can find one near you on the Toastmasters website at www.toastmasters.org. The purpose of the meeting roles is to help the members improve their speaking and leadership skills by providing feedback and evaluation. There are 7 different meeting roles: Toastmaster of the Day, Awe Counter, Grammarian, Timer, Evaluator, Table Topics Master, and General Evaluator. Every meeting is started by the club president, who introduces the Toastmaster of the Day. The Toastmaster of the Day is the host of the meeting. Fulfilling this role is great practice for leading meetings. The Toastmaster begins by introducing people who will fill other meeting roles for the day. He or she acts like an MC and keeps the meeting flowing smoothly and on time. Many clubs use an awe counter to document the number of filler words members use while speaking. At the end of each meeting, the awe counter reports how many ahs, and other similar words each speaker used. This helps members become more aware of unintended words or sounds they make when they speak. The grammarian helps members expand their vocabularies. One of the grammarian's duties is to provide a word of the day and its definition. If a member uses the word of the day or says something well, the grammarian calls attention to it. As the name implies, the timer records the exact length of each speech. He or she also uses timing lights to help speakers stay within their allocated time limits. The general evaluator takes notes throughout the meeting and reports back to everyone, giving specific feedback on how well the meeting flowed and also on how future meetings might be improved. The general evaluator also calls for reports by the awe counter, grammarian, and timer. In every club meeting, there are at least 2 members who present speeches. These speakers don't just stand up and start talking. They use the guidelines in their designated education manuals to prepare their presentations and reach the objectives for each speech. Every speaker who has prepared speeches in advance enjoys one of Toastmasters' greatest benefits: evaluation. Think of it as having a friend watch you practice a speech and then give you helpful feedback. The speaker usually meets with an evaluator before the meeting and asks the evaluator to pay attention to certain aspects of the talk. After all the speeches are done, the evaluators present their feedback in front of the club, covering areas such as: did the speakers use their hands to gesture well? Did they control their voices throughout the speeches? What did they do especially well, and what are some ideas for improvement? In addition to prepared speeches, a few minutes are set aside for table topics. This is often the most challenging, but also the most fun part of our meetings. During table topics, a series of questions or speaking topics are presented, and members are selected to respond on the spot. This is excellent training for those situations that come up in everyone's lives, where we have to think fast and say just the right thing. It might be a job interview, a sales meeting, or a dinner conversation. Table topics are great for practicing and honing the skills of impromptu speaking. Now that all the reports have been made, the president calls the meeting to a close. Everyone joins Toastmasters with a personal goal. Maybe it's a goal to become a more confident presenter, or learn how to run a meeting, or think faster on your feet. Whatever it is, you can achieve your goal if you participate. So, what's your goal? For more information on the club experience, please visit a Toastmasters club. To learn more about how you can become a better speaker and leader, visit www.toastmasters.org. To find a Toastmasters meeting near you, visit the Find a Club section at www.toastmasters.org.
Yes, Sandra. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? Open up your mic.
It is.
Give us some feedback. Oh my word. Let me ask you a question. there were 7 roles that they mentioned that we carry out in a Toastmaster meeting. Is there any role that you're apprehensive of doing, or you probably haven't done yet?
I have done, I believe, every single role that she spoke
Wow.
about. And the role I love best is the role of the evaluator. It gives me a chance to listen, to whoever is doing their speech, and to really hone in on what are the things that they would have done well in their speech. It gives me a chance to tell them about the things that they should improve on. And then there's always the encouragement. It gives me a chance to encourage them to move on and to do another speech and just to keep going. So I love the evaluation side of our meetings.
Is there a role that you would run from?
In the past, I would have said table topics. In the past.
In the past, not again.
In the past. But I truly understand now the value of table topics, right? Being able to stand on your feet and see when somebody would ask you a question. And in our neck of the woods, I realize that in Trinidad and Tobago, if you ask somebody a question, the first thing that they would say is,
well,
Yeah. Yeah. So from table topics, I am learning to harness the skill to think, firstly, listen to the question, think about organizing how I'm going to answer, think about a beginning, a middle, an ending, and then say what I have to say. So table topics to me is the bomb.
Yeah. Listen, I'm glad you said that. Too, a lot of things are running through my mind because just earlier this morning I was sharing with you, it just came to me that we should have a table topics contest as part of this whole thing and put it out there, an open contest for anyone. You don't have to be a Toastmaster. Jump in and give it a try. And we would have it live. Don't be scared. We would have it live where we would clap you and reward you because we celebrate everybody. So keep an eye out for that on the 22nd of this month, October 22nd, for that competition to be scheduled. But one of the tips I would give persons in dealing with table topics, should you be on the street, sometimes media people are on the street and they come up and say, hey, Sandra, so what do you think of so-and-so, so-and-so? And you're like, what? Why are you asking me? Why you don't answer? One of the things is to embrace the opportunity. They picked you. Of everybody else, they picked you. And another tip is repeat the question that the person asked you. Repeat the question slowly so that it gives you time to process what the person is asking you. Whether it is on TV, on the street, in a job interview, repeat the question so that it gives you time to understand and process and give a beginning, middle, and end response. Is there anything you want to add to that to help persons with table topics?
No, I just want to say that people should not run away from table topics. I mean, in Toastmasters, you may have people sitting there and thinking, oh gosh, I hope they don't ask me the question. And usually when you're thinking that, you would get asked the question, right? Because as a table topics master, you're very observant. So you can tell when people are either trying to shy away from the question or to look unconcerned or to say, don't pick me. But
Sandra, we know that. But Sandra, we know that we were in primary school. We all go to school and the teacher knows when you're trying to hide from answering.
Exactly. So I want to say to people, don't run away from it. And even our guests, we would normally ask our guests in a meeting if they would like to take part. Some would say no, but I encourage you to always say yes, to take part in it because it gives you an idea we would normally have a senior Toastmaster or a Toastmaster answer the question at first so that you can have an idea how you should answer. And then we give you a chance to answer. And a lot of the times we have guests coming in and I mean, they run away with the things and end up winning, best, best
Can I
tabletop.
tell you? Can I tell
Yes.
you? Sometimes people shock you with the response. You're like, whoa, that was so well done. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So be prepared, people, for the table topics contest coming up on October 22nd. That will be the cinch on Toastmasters International Day, the official day that we celebrate 96 years. Let me
Nice.
play now a couple of testimonials, not really testimonials, but reasons why we are Toastmasters. There are some of us here in Trinidad who have shared what you call my why. This is my why for being a member. I want to share a couple of these videos and then Sandra and I will have a discourse on it. And feel free to send in your questions wherever you're watching it, if it's Facebook Live, YouTube or LinkedIn, wherever you're watching from. Most likely it's from Facebook. Feel free to send in your questions or comments. So let me show this one. This is Mushtaq.
As a teacher, I was comfortable in my classroom lecturing to my kids. Now retired.
I have to remove us here first. Let me see if I can show his.
As a teacher, I was comfortable in my classroom lecturing to my kids. Now retired, I've been called upon to deliver speeches at various engagements. And I've found I'm no longer in my comfort zone. I have difficulties in delivering speeches in the public. I joined the Toastmaster Club. And since then, I've learned the art of articulating better. I've built confidence in delivering speeches. So I encourage anyone who wants to be able to build their confidence, to deliver speeches, and to gain more respect in the public. Join Toastmaster and learn the art of speaking in public. So that's my why to join in Toastmaster, to build confidence in articulating better into the public.
What can Toastmasters do for you? I am Sandra Ramjet from Winners Toastmasters Club. I was a chatterbox at school, constantly being sent to the principal's office. My teachers always told me that I needed to channel this disruptive energy into something positive. A few years ago, I talked my way into Winners Toastmasters, a club where leaders are made. The helpful and friendly Toastmasters coached, guided, and mentored me. Just imagine, as a sales representative of Guardian Life of the Caribbean Limited, I had the opportunity of entering the Carifa Speakers Forum contest in Barbados and won on my first attempt. If I can do it, you can too. Become a Winners Toastmaster today.
Fellow Toastmasters and curious onlookers, my why for joining Toastmasters initially was to engulf myself in public speaking activities so that I can keep those nervous butterflies flying in formation. I accomplished this in Toastmasters through completing my Competent Communicator Award, speech contest, being a presenter at club officer training, just delivering to large and small audiences. This skill also helped me at work, where I also have to make presentations. I stay at Toastmasters because I want to be a great leader. To this end, I have taken up both club and district leadership roles. Currently, I am the incoming area director for Area 37, District 81. The skills I am learning at Toastmasters has made me more efficient at conducting meetings, giving staff appraisals, working with people, the list goes on. At Toastmasters, I learn skills that matter to life, and that is my why.
My name is Neela Baraka Ali from Winners Toastmasters San Fernando. Prior to joining Toastmasters, I missed a number of opportunities in voicing my opinion on pertinent issues. I also disappointed loved ones when asked to speak on their behalf, and lacked confidence when required to speak at public forums. I needed to address these issues. I found out about Toastmasters and attended my first meeting, but I was surprised. I expected a presenter or a facilitator to teach us how to speak in public. But I realized you would be the presenter at those meetings. I was also impressed at the conduct of the meeting in terms of the timing, the eloquence of the speakers, speaking without notes. I decided just there and then I will join Toastmasters. It has been 2 years since I have been a Toastmaster. I have gained confidence in my speech delivery. I'm comfortable when called upon to speak. I have a few areas to work on based on my evaluation, but soon I will become a competent communicator, and that is my why.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters. How are you all today? I believe you all are super fine. I want to speak to you about my why this afternoon. Why Toastmasters? You know, I've listened to Les Brown's story. I had breakfast with him, and he spoke so highly of Toastmasters being the vehicle that he used to help get him to his startup. Knowing that I have the gift of gab, I love to speak, I love to chat, why not get perfect? And I look at Toastmasters as that vehicle to help polish me, to bring me to that level that I need to be in order to achieve my goals. That's my why for Toastmasters. So you all have a blessed and wonderful afternoon, evening. Godspeed. Kevin Ransom.
Yes, Sandra. You heard it. You heard it from the locals of Trinidad and Tobago. Which one you resonated with?
All of them actually. But the one that I loved was Sandra. You know why? Because I was there. I was there in Barbados when she did her and won. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. That one resonated with me very well because I saw what a good job she did.
I remember going to school. Let me tell you, my mother, the one thing that was on my report, Corinne talks too much. Corinne talks too much. And my mother one day said to me, she said, girl, I prefer to get that report than any other report. She wasn't calling the principal office for anything. So I didn't have to be worried, no trouble, no nothing. Just Corinne talks too much. Corinne is the class clown because I used to encourage everybody else to talk. So I could relate to the one Karen mentioned, Karen Ramjet, about my wife, Sandra, sorry, when she talked about, a chatterbox and that type of thing. We all, and let me tell you something, this is a very serious thing I'm going to say now. When children are talkative in class, and I came from a teaching background, when children are talkative in class, that is not a bad thing. People, parents, educators, society are silencing and dumbing down these children. I want people to hear this and I want them to stop. It is not good to silence children or people. Shut up, stop talking so much. What you need to do is harness that ability because you don't know, you could have a prime minister in the making right there in your classroom. You can have a world change maker right there in your classroom and you don't know. Years later, you will say, oh, I taught that little boy in class, that was Miss. You're proud to say it then. But at the time, you're dumbing him down or you're dumbing her down and silencing her. Stop it. It is not good. It is not good for mental development and personal development of our young minds because as a result, young people are not talking out about the abuse, about what's going on within themselves because they feel, no, what would people think? What will people say? No, no, no. Stop silencing your children, your spouse, your caregivers, your parents, your co-workers. Stop it and listen to people. Listen to people. If you want to know how to listen, join Toastmasters. Join Toastmasters to learn how to listen. Listen Listen. Sandra, say something. Unmute your mic. Unmute.
I remember, I was saying, I remember when my kids were very young, and they would come and they would ask for something, and you would say no, and they would cry and, throw tantrums and all that. And my husband would always say to them, no, 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 no. If you want something, you go back, think about it, and come present your case to me. And they would go back, write out what they want, and come back and present. And most times, on all occasions, they would get exactly what they wanted. They would get because of how they presented. So, that's a key thing for parents,
Yes.
in getting children to say exactly how they feel and what they want.
Yeah.
And one of the things I remembered in researching Toastmasters at one point in time, I had gone to a club in Barbados. I visited. And during the course of the meeting, each Toastmaster would say, better thinking, better listening. No, it's better listening, better thinking, better speaking. Yes.
That's right.
So, and I thought that was something that made up, but I understand that is a Toastmasters motto. Yeah?
That's right. That's right. You have to listen to hear what the person is communicating. And when you listen, because one of the things that I do, I mean, this is even before Toastmasters, but Toastmasters hone that skill even more. I seek clarification, Sandra. If somebody says something to me and that message comes across our way, because it's not just the words coming out of the mouth. You have to look at the body language, because all that forms part of what the person is saying. You have to probably look at the environment is also being said to, where you are placed at the time, and say, is this person really telling me this or that? And seek clarification. Seek the clarification in order to say, I want to understand, is this what you're saying to me? And when you are clear, both of you are clear on what it is, then you can now respond. It may take some time to get to what the person is trying to say, but before you jump to conclusion and make a judgment and answer irresponsibly, take the time. According to the lady before, be patient, slow down. Do this with your children. Wife, do this with your husband. Husband, do this with your wife. Right? Take your time. Take your time. Yes, I see somebody creeping in trying to come into a Toastmaster session. Is okay. Let them come in. Let them come in and join Toastmasters. That's okay. I see Shirley saying, and your speech is punctuated with filler words like you understand? You know what I mean? Come to Toastmasters. Let us show you how to speak fluently. But it's not only speaking, it's listening. It's the listening and also allowing the person, because I find in the Caribbean, we tend to stop people in the middle of what they're saying. We cut them off, assuming we know what they're about to say. Wait. What's the rush? Wait. Allow the person to speak so that you know exactly what it is they're saying. Unmute yourself, Sandra. I wasn't hearing you. The sun is coming up on me. Let me back
Yeah,
up.
that's true. And another thing in speaking, I tend to do it a lot. That sometimes I speed up when I'm speaking.
Yeah.
But it's allowing yourself to think and produce and slowly say what you have to say. And when you do that, it usually helps with the filler words.
That's
When you're
right.
speaking very fast, you find that the filler words come, but it usually helps with the filler words. And my favorite filler word was, maybe I have another one now, but my favorite filler word was so. And I remember in my club, whenever they evaluate me, they would talk about the use of that filler word. And my fellow Toastmasters, would go to the back of the room, and when I'm speaking, every time I said so, they would put their hands up counting. And because of just that action, I learned to eliminate the word so.
Yeah.
But it's a work in progress. You have to
Always.
keep. Yeah.
It is a work in progress. And you said something significant there. I tell you, class is in session. Class is in session today. You said something very significant. We replace that filler word with another one that makes us comfortable, because it's called crutch words.
Yes.
It's a crutch. You hold on to it. because this is what makes you comfortable. No, you replace it. So you have to be conscious. What did I replace it with? What did I replace it with? And as Caribbean people, we use as if the person know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't, I don't
That's the
know.
next fellow word that I'm to work on.
Right, right. So this is what is happening. I want to switch now to one more video before we close off, and this is external to Trinidad and Tobago. These are some testimonials of persons who are also Toastmasters. You may find yourself being in one of these people. You may see yourself in one of these people, or you may know somebody who is represented in one of these people that you're about to see or that you have seen before. And you may say, touch them on the shoulder. You go to work or you go home later and say, hey, I saw something and I believe you need this. I saw something today and I believe you need this. I want you to watch this. Go to this Facebook page, Trinidad Toastmasters Trinidad and Tobago. Look at it. I think that is you and you need their help. Reach out to them. Yeah? So let me show this video.
Toastmasters is a platform where you can cultivate, that teaches you how to cultivate courage by not only embracing your strengths, but also your vulnerabilities. So that when you get out and when you start speaking in the real world and trying to impact lives, you're actually able to exude all of the qualities of a true leader.
There's little clubs that are going on all over the world in every city, every time of the day, helping people nurture their self-confidence, grow, develop their communication and leadership.
Every meeting you learn something new, and it's entertaining, it's fun, it's a learning opportunity.
It's a place to practice speaking. It's kind of like a gym for public speaking, if you will.
Each and every member in the organization I meet is positive. They are always there to encourage you. They're always there to guide you, to support you.
This is probably the best thing that you can do for your career. Communication, no matter what job you have, communication is key.
What has surprised me the most about joining Toastmasters was how it revealed things that I never thought I could do. I never thought I could write. I never thought I could speak in public. I never thought I could control my voice.
I realized that even though I joined Toastmasters to become a better communicator, that I've become an accidental leader.
Knowing that you have that power and ability to make other people better is really humbling and is very empowering at the same time.
Don't say no. Try it. Go to a meeting and spend the time to really appreciate what the meeting has to offer you, what Toastmasters has to offer.
I am able to see improvement in everything that I do. The more I do the roles, the more I do the speeches, I realize that I am better at what I'm doing. So that's why I keep coming back.
Right. You know what I like? And I think we laughed at the same thing. She became an accidental leader. Look at she didn't go for that. She didn't go for that. She went to learn to speak, conquer her fear. And she realized I became an accidental leader.
Well, you know, Corinne, for most people who join Toastmasters, they really join because they want to be able to speak better. They want to speak in a crowd. They want to feel that when somebody asks a question, they're never thinking about leadership. When I joined, I wasn't thinking about leadership either. And here I am today, division director. So it creeps up on you and you don't even realize. And sometimes it's somebody else that has to say it to you, you know. You don't realize that things have changed and you're doing things in a different way, and you're taking control and taking command of your own life. So this is what I love about Toastmasters.
Don't frighten the people. Don't frighten the people. We're trying to encourage them in the Toastmasters. Don't frighten them. But
you want to be in control of your life. That is what Toastmasters does for you. It helps you to be in control of your life. You know. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
No, and what Sandra is saying, it creeps up. You never plan for that. You never plan for it. But people start to see on the outside, people on the
Yes.
outside watch you. They're watching you and they're like, you
Mm.
know, I think you would be good at so and so, you know, you should try
Mhm.
it. And
Yeah.
just so gently they're telling you, you know, they're not pushing you
Yes.
hard, you know, they say,
Yes.
you should
You should
try it,
try.
I'll recommend it. Next thing you
Yes.
know, you try end up from president of a club. No, you start off as sergeant, it's the easiest
Mhm.
one. And then you work your way up. Next thing you know, you're leading a club. Next thing you know,
Yes.
you're in the division. you're,
Yes.
you're in
Yes.
the district. Next thing you know, you're out in international. Just like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That was not your plan.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you talk to anybody, they will
Yeah.
tell you that. It was
And
not
there's
my
no
plan.
pressure. There's no pressure, Corinne. There's no pressure.
No.
You're going at your pace.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing is you're with your peers and you feel
Yes.
comfortable about being evaluated and being told things that you should improve.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. All right. We had a nice class today. Class is normally 30 to 40 minutes, people. I don't want to put too much pressure on Sandra today. Right? I don't I don't want to put too much pressure. Class is normally 30 to 40 minutes. Okay? So I don't want to put too much pressure. I had more videos to show, but I said this rounded it off really nicely.
Yes.
And we had
Yes.
a really good discussion. Sandra, I'll leave the final words to you to round off and encourage persons to keep checking the Facebook page and to know what's happening coming from 20th to 22nd. Don't give away everything now. Some
Yes.
things are
Yes.
secret, but just let them, don't give away. But get them a little prips, as they say in Jamaica, little prips, so that they so that people
So
know.
people, you know, this is our week of celebration. We are celebrating Toastmasters International Day, which incidentally is the 22nd of October. And every day we're bringing something to you, something new for you to look at, for you to glean from, for you to learn. So it's not only for Toastmasters, it's for people out there all over the world. In our country, Trinidad and Tobago, in the islands, in the Caribbean, in the world. Come on board and look at what today we did the buy why. We're probably going to have some of our own people come on again to talk about the buy why. We want to talk about how it is, what do you do to join a club? We probably want to talk about our speechcraft. Those are things. And I welcome you all. Go on Trinidad and Tobago Facebook, Toastmasters Trinidad and Tobago Facebook page. Click, like, share. Check it out every day. We have something on for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sandra. Hold on there. I'm trying to get back myself. I tried to get back myself in the screenshot here. Thank you. Thank you so much. If I find out looking like a ghost, it's the sun showing on me here.
Yeah.
That shining all in my hand that making me look ghosty. But
Yes.
look.
We had a good day today. Murphy didn't
Oh,
come in. We blocked him out today. So we had a really good day.
it's the
Yes.
Caribe. It's the Caribe.
Yes.
Just like how you leave your clothes home and you
Yes.
drink something, it's the Caribe. People, all who are watching on Facebook, who are watching now, who will be watching the replay today, tomorrow, next week, next year, let me tell you something. This is the week, this is the place to be. Division F, Toastmasters, Trinidad and Tobago out of District 81. This is the place to be. October 20 to 22nd, starting tomorrow. Let me tell you, it's going to be lit. Don't miss lit. Check the Facebook page to know. We're not telling you all the little juicy details. We're not telling you.
Will we be streaming from anywhere else, Corinne? Will we be streaming from anywhere else?
We're
Beside
supposed
our
to be
Facebook
streaming,
page?
I think, YouTube. I managed to get YouTube on, but I can't promise. Even if they don't get it on YouTube Live, the recording is going to be there. If they go to our LinkedIn page, Toastmasters Trinidad and Tobago, they will see the recordings from yesterday, the 17th and the 18th already there. And this one is going to be there shortly. So we are keeping up. We are keeping up, people. You need to keep up. You need to keep up. Okay? So keep an eye on the Facebook page.
Keep coming.
The Facebook page. If you miss anywhere else, Don't miss the Facebook page. This is where it's at. This is where it's at. So follow, like, share, tell everybody you know. Your family, your friend, cat, dog, fowl, everybody. Tell them, make them come. All right, this is for you. All the best. Thank you so much, Sandra, Division Director, Division F. We had a wonderful class. Didn't we have a wonderful class today?
We did. Look
Yes,
out for
I make
our
a good.
history. Look out for our history. There is history in Trinidad and Tobago.
Hush, Sandra. Hush. 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 We ended the broadcast now before she let it out. Hush. Let me.